Hello everyone, Hectic Moose here with another Tekken video. This is a lot different from what I normally do. I'm gonna try and do a tips and tricks video for everyone. Not that I'm the best Tekken player in the world, but all of these tips and tricks kind of like help me get to Tekken King. So hopefully I can help anybody else who's struggling. One of the first things that I think is super important, and this goes for the entire cast. This isn't just Reina specific. We'll get into Reina specific stuff later in the video. But is a couple fundamentals. So that'll be stuff like backdashing or Korean backdashing, and then sidestep blocking, dash blocking, and then also breaking throws is super important. The first thing I do when I get on and I'm warming up before I hop into like quick play games and stuff like that is I'll hop in and I'll literally just practice my Korean backdashes. Now, I'm not the best at it, but it's really good to practice that every day whenever you play, and then also to practice it in game, because it can be super beneficial to do it quickly if you get space from your opponent, make him whiff, and then you can punish them with a launcher or something like that. Something that I've found, and this happened to me a lot early when I was practicing sidestepping and moving and everything in the game, is I would sidestep, but I would never block right away, or I would sidewalk and I would never block right away. A good thing to do is never be hittable, I guess you should say. Always like get your sidestep and then hold back. Dash blocking is really good, especially if your opponent throwing a lot of keep out and you notice that they're throwing a lot of keep out. So you can kind of threaten with dashing in and back dashing out, or dashing in and blocking. Dash, hold back, dash, hold back. You know, so that's super important. So that's one of the first things I do when I get on, is I practice my Korean backdash, practice sidestepping, whatever it is, dash blocking. Next thing that I do is I practice my combos. So obviously this goes for every character. You always want to practice your combos. You always want to make sure that you know your staples and everything like that. My staple for Reina is a double electric. And then you can follow that up with whatever you want to. 15 frame punish is this. And then you can, again, follow that up however you like. The way I practice breaking throws, I do it with Jin, just because it's the easiest for me, is I go into practice, set it to defense, and then from here, I do the first action, I select from move list, go all the way to the bottom, and I click his 3 throws here. So this is a 2 break, a 1+2 break, and then a 1 break. So I'll set that one to there. I'll click the 2 break next. And then the last one, I'll do a 1+2 break. When I first started doing this, I kind of had to see like visually what it looked like, because it was really hard for me to break throws for a long time. And then I started doing this practice drill of breaking throws, and I saw like results for it after I did it for like multiple sessions. Once you play this back, what I did first is I just sat there and I looked at what the throws look like. And if it was too fast or too confusing for me, I went in and I changed the action frequency of the throws so that I could see what the 1 throw looked like. And you can tell it's a 1 break by the fact that he is reaching his left hand out. So that means it's a 1 break. If he's reaching his right hand out, that is a 2 break. And it was really confusing for me, especially when I played Jins, of every time I'd get grabbed by this exact grab, I would think that it's a 1+2 break. Just because for some reason in my head, it looked like a 1+2 break because of, I guess, player right. That just looks like a 1+2 break to me. And then obviously you have the 1+2 break here. And you can practice all of this. I would recommend setting maybe 1 at first, and then 2, and then all 3. Then just practice breaking them appropriately. And even if you're slow at breaking them, it's okay as long as you know that the button you pressed was the correct one, because that's all that really matters. So you'll sit here and then you'll just practice breaking the throws. So yeah, that's how I practice that. Mishima specific stuff that I thought was really important and that really helped me is first just getting a really good electric. And the reason of that is because electric is +5 on block, and non-electric is -10. So that is a 10 frame punish for the opponent if they're quick enough. So it's super important to get a really consistent electric. Some drills that I practiced for that are all reminiscent of something that you would do in game. So let's say you're backdashing, Korean backdashing, and then you want to throw out an electric because your opponent whiffed because of your backdash. Backdashing and Korean backdashing into an electric is actually still really difficult for me, even though sometimes I can do it. But as you see, I still need a lot of practice with it. But yeah, another one that I like to practice, and I'll show you guys how to set that up right now. You go to restart settings, and then you go to restart position, you go to wall, and then here you go back to practice settings, and you do opponent actions, and you do block. Now we're at the wall. So here what I like to do is practicing electrics in succession. However many that means for you, I just use a good rule of thumb, like 4 or 5 in a row. So what that's going to look like is it'll help you get the timing down for all your electrics, how fast you can do them and stuff like that. So yeah, because in game it's really good for a keep out, and this is just Mishima specific stuff. Another one that I like to practice after I do the electrics in succession is doing a dash electric. So a dash electric is basically you input a dash before you input your Wavedash. It should look something like this, like that. So it's good to practice this because if your opponent sidesteps after you do, let's say, a forward 4. So here's an example of what that'll look like. That. Because you practice that dash electric, that will actually track. If you don't dash electric and you just do a regular one, it'll whiff, and then they get a full punish. So it's super important to practice that, especially if you have the hard read on it, because in higher ranks, a lot of people will start to sidestep or sidewalk after your forward 4. So next is sidestep electrics, which is actually my favorite. If you've watched any of my videos, you can see that that's one of the things that I think I'm pretty good at. And the way to do that is almost on like a hard read. So there's a lot of different situations where a sidestep electric is good. Whether you have a read on the opponent that you think they're just going to throw something linear, you can sidestep and then get your punish there. And instead of doing your 1-1-2 punish or whatever it is, you can sidestep an electric and get a full combo on them. The way that I practice this is I literally get in and I do 1 to the right, 1 to the left, and then I just kind of alternate. It should be instant. There should be no time where I'm waiting for the opponent to do something. So it should just be super instant, like damn near flawless. So when you do this, it's not like you're waiting to look to see what the opponent is going to do. This is like, I have this hard read on them. They're going to do something linear, or I just threw out a move that is sidesteppable for me. These are the two setups that I use. The first one is a 1-1 sidestep electric. Normally the opponent will try and take their turn back with a jab or something like that, and I'll cash them when I sidestep and then when I electric. The other one I do, which is kind of like hit or miss, is down forward 1-1. And then I'll sidestep. Now the reason that one doesn't always work is because it is -4. So it's, in my experience, okay to sidestep when you're that minus. You just got to hope that they don't throw out their own down forward one that tracks to that side. And if it does, then, and you see that they're doing that, then just sidestep the other way and do it, because it won't track for most characters, I believe. But yeah, those are the electric drills that I like to practice. So the next drill that I like to practice and that I think is super crucial for any Mishima is a Wavedash Cancel. So the way to do that is you input your Wavedash, but then right after you press down forward, you slide it into forward, and then that'll make your character stand right back up. And what's cool about this is it'll actually input a forward for you. So let's say you have while running moves, or in Reina's case, a forward 2, you can actually Wavedash cancel and then just get your forward 2. Like super fast. And that covers a lot more range than if I were to just forward 2. It does take some practice, so just don't get frustrated. And yeah. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go over some Reina specific stuff. One of the things that I really like to do for Reina is I like to threaten Wavedash Cancel into a forward 2 or hell sweep or even an electric. So the reason that's so important is because it's just a 50-50 mix up for most of the time. That's one thing I like to do. I like to Wavedash Cancel, get into a forward 2, Wavedash Cancel, hell sweep, whatever it is, Wavedash Cancel, electric, or win God Fist in that case. But so that's super important in my opinion for Reina, and is to learn to Wavedash Cancel, and then also to utilize your forward 2 and hell sweep into it, because when you do Wavedash Cancel multiple times, you get your little wavy going that actually tracks your opponent if they're sidestepping or whatever it is. So yeah, super cool. Another thing that I think is super important is don't spam her forward 2 super often, because especially in higher ranks, that move will get stepped, or if you've done it too many times, your opponent will end up throwing their armor move out, and then that just screws up all of your Sentai mix-ups. So in my experience, not a lot of Reinas utilize her Heaven's Wrath stance a lot. And I think it's super important too, because it's a lot better than her Sentai. And also the ways that you can get into it are pretty cool. So one of the ways is through hell sweep. After your hell sweep, hold down. Another way you can get into Heaven's Wrath is actually by doing her while standing 4-4 and then holding down. And another one is from her down forward 2 and then you hold down. And the options that I prefer to use, especially after a hell sweep, I found this a lot more useful in like higher ranks, like high blue ranks, her 1-4 option. So I'll show you what that looks like, and the reason I use 1 instead of like 2 or anything like that. So here's what it would look like if you were to use 2 out of your hell sweep by default. You'll get punished because of their armor power crush. If you use 1 as an option, you will actually counter hit them, and then from there you have a multitude of options. So that's the reason I use 1 a lot, because a lot of people don't want to deal with the mix-up, so they'll start doing power crushes. So once you condition them into not doing their power crush, you can actually end up doing your other options. So Heaven's Wrath 2, Heaven's Wrath 3+4, or if you're feeling really spicy, you can do Heaven's Wrath down 4-3. I wouldn't recommend that last one only because it's not guaranteed if you hit them with the down 4. And also you can go into another hell sweep. So that's super cool. Yeah, so utilize Heaven's Wrath more. Another one of her stances that I don't really use too often, but it is super useful, is her Unsoku stances. So there's a couple different ways you can actually get into this. Just press back 3 and that'll get into there, and from there you can press 4, which after the patch unfortunately does not high crush. Another option is crouch dashing out of it, and then you can get her hell sweep or even her electric if you time it correctly. And the other two ways to get into it, which aren't nearly as evasive as back 3, is down 3 or up 3. And these ones are super fast, so if you have a hard read on the opponent, you can just press it, you got your heat engager, and then you're in there. Another cool way to get into the Unsoku stance is by pressing forward 2 and then either holding down or up. So that's what this looks like. And from there, you can actually press 4 right after. Get that. You can actually get a electric. So that's super cool. Or you can even go into hell sweep, whatever you want to do. So really cool mix-ups here for Unsoku stance, but hard to utilize. It takes a lot of practice. So yeah. Now what I want to do is I actually want to go into some OKI tips I found out from a channel called Mishima Complex. Check the guy out. He's super cool. Probably the best Reina on YouTube, and taught me a lot. A cool thing about Reina's OKI is really only have to watch how your opponent gets up. So the first thing is you should watch how your opponent wakes up. So what I'll do here is I'll just splat Jin on the wall, and then we'll watch how he wakes up. So there, he woke up backwards. When he does that, when your opponent does that, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use the 2 option. And that hit because he woke up backwards. The next option here is the side roll, and the reason you can't use 2 here is because it will not hit if they side roll. So I'll show you that. So instead of opting for Heaven's Wrath 2, you should opt for her 3+4 because it will track. And this goes for both sides if they roll either into the background or into the foreground. As you can see. The next option is actually if they quick stand. So if they quick stand here, your 2 will get blocked, and also your 3+4 will get blocked. Both of those will get blocked. So instead of doing either of those options, you can actually go for her Heaven's Wrath grab. Another alternative, instead of grabbing in Heaven's Wrath, is using her 3 and 4. And that will get you your +8 frames, and you can go to town on your Heaven's Wrath mix-ups. This is specific if your opponent is doing a get-up attack, And the option I use here is 2 because it will either hit or counter hit depending on if they're spring kicking or not. But this is what this looks like. And then you get another wall combo. If they spring kick, it won't counter hit. If they stay on the ground, then the option you want to go for out of Heaven's Wrath is either her 3+4 or her 4-4-2-2 into quarter circle forward 1+2. A way that the opponent can counter this is by doing just like a little toe kick. So that's what this will look like. And this actually breaks all of your options. The way to counter their toe kick is by not entering Heaven's Wrath and then instead blocking them and punishing them. Obviously a better punish, but. So you can actually use her OKI in neutral, although sometimes the spacing is kind of bad, but it's definitely viable for sure. I'll show you guys what that'll look like. So as you can see, the spacing wasn't exactly perfect. But what you can do instead of opting for that 2 is actually going into her head right out of Heaven's Wrath. So yeah, to wrap the video up, just all the things that we went through. First thing is learn your fundamentals. So learning your Korean backdash, learning your sidestep blocks, learning your dash blocking, and then also breaking your throws with the drill that I showed. Mishima specific stuff is getting your good electric down, doing all those drills, your dash electric, sidestep electrics, and then also Wavedash canceling. Reina specific stuff, Wavedash cancels, super important. So canceling that into your forward 2, or mixing it up with a hell sweep, or even just doing a simple electric. Another thing that we covered was utilizing her Heaven's Wrath more, in the multiple different ways that you can get into it. And then obviously her wall OKI, and then as you can see the combos I just showed you, they can be done in neutral in special cases. So yeah, that's it that I have for you guys right now. I hope all of this helped, and make sure to check out Mishima Complex. I will have him down in the description so that you guys can check him out. Yeah, his videos are a lot better than mine, but I just thought that I should share all of this information to anyone who cares or people who support me or whatever it is. But yeah, thank you guys for watching.